Welcome to you all. Today's topic is Gauss law. Before Gauss law, we know about your flux. What is flux? Just introduction of the start. Flux. Let us consider a small surface. A small surface, very small surface. This is the direction of area vector, also very small. So we can find out the electric flux. So if this is very small surface, so flux is also very small, d phi. The electric field is, suppose this is the direction of the electric field. The angle between the area vector and electric field is your theta. We know about the electric flux. So now this electric field is resolved into two components. Along this direction, the field is E cos theta. So what is your electric flux d phi? That is equal to E dA cos theta. Clear? So E dA cos theta means that is E dot dA. This is the small flux. For net flux phi, that is equal to integration of d phi, that is equal to integration E dot dA, dot product E dot dA. Here if E is constant, then E dot dA, that is A, so that is E dot A. This is your flux, net flux. Next we know about Gauss law. What is Gauss law? Gauss law is the net electric flux through a closed surface. Through a closed surface. Closed surface is 3D surface. No? So if the net electric flux through a closed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by the surface. This is the Gauss law. The net electric flux through a closed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by the surface. Clear? So that means the phi net means a closed surface, that is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Net flux means in a closed surface, in case of closed surface. So this is Q is inside, not outside. Charge inside the closed surface. Clear? So this is the flux. This also, in this case, this is a closed surface. So E dot dA. E dot dA. Clear? E the electric field, dA is the area vector. This is the flux. Simply, the flux means Q by epsilon naught. Q is net flux. Q is inside the total charge, and phi is the net flux. Now, we prove this. Phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Let us consider a closed surface. Inside this, a charge is placed. So this is the surface, a sphere. This is a sphere. Inside this sphere, charge is Q. Clear? So this surface, suppose this is a section of the surface. This is a section of the surface. So in this case, this is the direction of dA, area vector. So as this is the charge, this charge placed inside the surface, we can find out what is the direction of the electric field. Electric field is also in this direction. Clear? So let E is equal to electric field dA area vector. So here E and dA are in same direction. And dA are in same direction. So theta is equal to 0 degree. Clear? So what is your flux? So here very small section, small surface. So d phi is equal to E dot dA, that is equal to E dA cos 0 degree, that is equal to E dA, that is d phi. Clear? So suppose there are some sections or small sections like this. In all cases, suppose this is the direction for the area. Here E and dA both are in same direction. In this case also theta is equal to 0 degree. Here also dA and E. So that means in all cases in the surface dA and E are in same direction. So what is the flux? So d phi is equal to E dot dA, E dA cos 0 degree, that is G dA for a small. So total flux, net flux phi is equal to, so close integration of the closed surface d phi, that is equal to integration in a closed surface dE dA. So here E always remains constant, always constant at every positions. This is a closed surface, this is a sphere. So E is outside, integration dA. Now we can find out what is the integration dA. Integration dA is a sphere, total surface, that is, what is the surface area? Surface area, integration dA is equal to, surface area of the sphere is 4 pi r square. Why? The radius of the sphere is r, suppose. Clear? So r is the radius of this sphere. So what is the electric field in this sphere? This electric field E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q by r square. This is the E, electric field. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. So we know E and dA. So what is your phi? What is your phi? So phi is equal to E, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. So total surface area, so that is equal to 4 pi r square. So 4 pi r square cancel, that is equal to q by epsilon naught. So this implies phi is equal to q by epsilon naught. This is the Gauss law. This is Gauss law. If suppose the radius of the sphere is changed, if radius is changed 2r, so what is your flux? What is your flux? Flux means all are same. So surface area 4 pi 2r square. So that means A is equal 4 pi 2r square surface area. Then what is your E? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by 2r square. So what is your flux? Phi is equal to E dA. dA means, that is integration of dA means A. So that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by 2r square into 4 pi 2r square. Clear? That is also q by epsilon naught. So in this case also phi is equal to q by epsilon naught. This Gauss law. If the radius is again changed 3r, then also that is q by epsilon naught. Okay? Why? Now A is equal to 4 pi 3r square, E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by 3r square. So that is phi is equal to E integral of dA, that is also equal to q by epsilon naught. So in all cases we clear that phi is equal to q by epsilon naught. That is Gauss law. The net electric flux in a closed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed inside a surface by the surface. So that means we clear the size does not depend upon the flux. That is R, this is your 2R, so this is your 3R. In all cases, what is your flux? Suppose this is the E, this is the E, means this is the total. If we can find out the flux, all the intensity, all the electric field, it crosses these all the spheres. So in all cases, phi is equal to q by epsilon naught. Charge is q, which is inside the closed surface. So all the spheres, it just depends upon the radius. So it is not, thus it does not depend upon the size of the sphere. So size is not depends for calculation of the electric flux. Clear? In other case, let us consider a cube. So here a charge is there, Q. Q is the charge inside the cube. Q is the charge situated inside the closed surface. So what is the flux? In this case, the net flux phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Why? Like this. This is the total flux in a closed surface. This is case of a Q, as charge is inside the surface. In case of a cylinder, suppose a charge is there. In this case also, the phi is also Q by epsilon naught, because in this case also the total flux like this. Okay. In case of a cube also, a cone, a charge is placed inside this. So what is the flux? So phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Here also like this. So confirm phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. This is Gauss law. So we confirm the flux does not depend upon shape also. So shape and size both. So flux does not depend upon the size and shape of a body. Some examples. So this is just closed surface. Let us consider a closed surface. A charge is placed at that position. You can say, what is the flux in this closed surface? So as the charge is in outside, so here the flux is 0. Why? So from this charge, this is the direction of the E, this is the direction of the E, this is the direction of the E, suppose. dA, this is dA. From this position, suppose this is 1, this is 2. In one example, why it is 0? So from charge Q at this position, suppose flux is equal to E dA. Here E and dA both are in same direction. This is 1, this is 2. Both are in one direction means E dA cos 0 degree. Cos 0 means that is 1. So it is your positive EDA. In this case, it is opposite direction. So suppose this is phi 2, E dA cos 180 degree. That is negative. So one is positive, other is negative. So what is your net flux? Net flux is 0. Clear? So this is the first case. Suppose if there are two charges, Q1 and Q2 is placed and Q3 is spread outside. Okay, so what is the flux enclose the surface inside? So flux is here. What is your flux? Flux is your Q1 and Q2, two charges, and Q3 is outside. Clear? So flux phi is equal to Q1 plus Q2 by epsilon naught. This is not used in this calculation about the flux, which is equal to the closed integral of a closed surface, that is E dot dA. E dot dA. So in this case, for calculation of the flux, that is we use the inside charge, but for E, that is total charge Q1, Q2 and Q3. Clear? Suppose a dipole is present, a dipole is placed inside a closed surface. What is the flux? What is the flux? Here also flux is 0 because there are two, one is positive, other is negative. Clear? So flux is 0. Confirm? In case of a semi-cylinder, in case of semi-cylinder, in case of total cylinder, the phi is equal to Q by, if charge is placed, Q by epsilon naught. In case of a semi-cylinder, in the closed surface, phi is equal to Q by epsilon 0. Semi means from this to this. So in this case, semi-cylinder case, that is Q by 2 epsilon, half Q by 2 epsilon naught. Confirm? This is for semi-cylinder. In case of hemisphere, in total sphere, phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. In case of semi, that means half of this. Hemisphere, that is equal to Q by 2 epsilon naught. In this case, clear? If we can find out, in case of a cube, one plate of a cube, from this plate, suppose sides are A. If a charge is there Q, A by 2 means it is also symmetric. If it is symmetric and charge is there, we can find out the flux. In case of a cube, the flux is equal to Q by epsilon naught. From a plate, that means a face, only one. In case of a cube, there are 6 faces. So 6 means in this case phi is equal to Q by 6 epsilon naught. 6 epsilon naught. Confirm? In another case, find out the flux of a cube in case of shaded portion. If a charge is placed, shaded portion. In this case also there are 6 faces. So for the shaded portion, the phi is equal to Q by 6 epsilon naught. Clear? So this is all about your Gauss law and calculation of the electric flux. Now, derivation of Coulomb's law using Gauss law. Using Gauss law. Imagine, let us consider a point P. Let us consider a point P at a distance r from O, at which a plus Q charge is situated. Clear? P be a point at a distance r from O, at which a charge Q is situated or located. Now imagine a sphere. Imagine a sphere. Imagine a sphere having center O, radius R. That means P be the point on this surface. So then direction for intensity is E, in that direction. Clear? So we can find out what is E. Then what is your first direction? E. Why? Charge is placed at O, in which the force experienced, then we can find out the direction of the intensity. At first, what is your flux? Flux is equal to the surface integral of d phi, that is equal to E dot dA, integration of E dot dA. E dot dA. Clear? So dA, the surface area, it is a spherical structure, sphere. What is the surface area? Radius is R. So surface area, that is equal to 4 pi r square. So that means in this case E always remains constant. All directions always remains constant, which is perpendicular also. That is E dot dA. Here dA and E both are in same direction, so the angle is 0 degree. So that is equal to E dA cos 0 degree, that is also equal to E dA. So that is equal to E, as E constant, as E is equal to constant. So that is equal to E into 4 pi r square. E into 4 pi r square, that is the flux. But according to Gauss law, phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Q by epsilon naught. Clear? So Q by epsilon naught, here phi is equal to E into 4 pi r square. So this is the equation 1, this is equation 2. From equation 1 and 2, we get E into 4 pi r square is equal to Q by epsilon naught. So this implies E is equal to 1 by 4 pi r square into Q by epsilon naught. Clear? So that is implies that E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by r square. Let Q0 a test charge placed at P. A test charge placed at P. Then what is the force experienced? So what is the force experienced? F is equal to Q0 E. Why? Now E is equal to F by Q0. So F is equal to Q0 E. So now, what is your F? So this implies F is equal to Q0 into E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by r square. So this implies F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q0 by r square. Q0 by r square. This is the Coulomb's law in electrostatics. Okay, so F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q0 by r square. So this is the Coulomb's law, which is derived by using Gauss law. That's all. Thank you.